My name's Devin. I'm a travel content creator, and I wanted to share one of my worst travel experience stories with you. This story is about how I used Booking.com for the first time ever to book a trip to Atlanta, specifically my hotel stay. And it was the worst experience I've ever had with travel, and it was the worst hotel that I've ever stayed in. Stick around to the end of the video to see a video of the hotel. It was awful. So to kick the story off, we'll start with I had used Booking.com about a week before the trip to book the hotel, and the day before I left for the trip, I had called Booking.com. I had checked my email confirmation, everything. I had never used them before, so I was a little confused. So I checked my email confirmation. I had called them, and the guy on the phone 3 times verified with me that everything was paid for, everything was taken care of, it was all set. I didn't have anything to worry about when I got there. So I assumed it was all taken care of, like the guy on the phone said 3 different times, and like the email confirmation said. The email confirmation said that I paid for everything, it was all taken care of. So we get to Atlanta, get off the plane, leave the airport, we get in the Uber, and I call the hotel just to verify again that everything was good. You know, we were on our way. I was calling to let them know that, you know, we'd be checking in later than we had originally intended. And they said, your room's not paid for. I was like, no, it is paid for. I have confirmation from Booking.com that it's paid for. We paid for everything. It's all good to go. And they're like, nope, it's not paid for. So I tried calling Booking.com. I could not get a hold of them for a majority of the time that I tried to call them. And then when I finally got through to them, it was someone that I could not understand, and I was trying to figure out like what I needed to do to get it taken care of. And I said, don't worry, we'll get you over to customer service and we'll get it handled for you. They transferred me, and it was to a medical service center. It wasn't even Booking.com, it was to a medical center. And then I tried calling back the number that I originally called for Booking.com, and I could never get a hold of them. Nobody answered, I couldn't speak to anybody. So then I finally called the number that was on my confirmation, and it was the manager of the hotel I was staying at. And they're like, get to the hotel, when are you going to be there? Told them about 10 minutes, and she said, okay, we'll get it taken care of for you, we'll figure out what we can do. We got to the hotel, and the lady at the front desk was like, no, it is not paid for. So, talked to her and the manager, and they tried calling Booking.com. We couldn't get a hold of them. So, the hotel told me, don't worry about it. We'll get you into the room tonight, and we'll get it taken care of in the morning. This hotel was disgusting. And we didn't have any other option. We couldn't afford to buy plane tickets or have our tickets switched to fly home early, so we had to stick it through. And so we walk into the hotel, there's ceiling tiles missing, it's not exactly clean, and we go up the stairs to the second floor where our room was, there's more ceiling tiles missing, there's a bucket sitting in the middle of the floor catching water that's dripping from the ceiling, there's trash in the hallways. Then we get into our room, and it's not clean. There is dirt and food and flakes of stuff all over the floor. There's stains on the bed. It was gross. The windows were dirty, and there was a big spotlight right outside our window that shone into our room, and it flashed multiple colors every single night. And so we had to keep the curtains closed at night, obviously, so that the lights wouldn't bother us. And so then the next morning, it was technically our first official day there. I went down to the front desk. I was like, what's going on? And they're like, we couldn't get a hold of them. And I was like, well, we have plans to do things in Atlanta today, and I want to make sure that we have a room to come back to when we come back, and we don't want to worry about it. And they're like, don't worry about it. We'll get it taken care of. You go do what you need to do. We have your phone number. We'll get it taken care of. If we need you, we'll call you for anything. If we need to call you, we will. So we went out and did our thing, and again, I asked them, what's going on? What do we need to do? And they're like, we still can't get a hold of them. Don't worry about it. It's fine. So we stayed there, and they didn't have housekeeping or anything, and they never said anything. So on our debt, we didn't know what to do. We were nervous the whole time that we were gonna get kicked out of our room. But Booking.com, I would never ever use them again, and I will never recommend using them. That was my first time using a third party to book a trip or a hotel stay, and I'll never do it again. Never. But this is the video of the hotel. So see, these are some missing ceiling tiles with leaking ceilings. This was one of the beds in our room with a stained comforter, and part of the comforter was ripped. The floors had not been vacuumed or cleaned. This was stuff all over the floor. They also don't have housekeeping apparently because your trash just goes in the hallway. More missing ceiling tiles, a torn apart ice machine, and a stained box spring. And these are the dirty windows and the lights outside of our hotel room.